biggest asset, and then he could take you down on the.
Always a majestic view of the War Memorial here in downtown Indianapolis. Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. We'll see the Indiana Pacers defending home turf in the Eastern Conference. And so off the tip, it's Brooklyn. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Setting the floor for the Nets. Brown at the 2 with Johnson at the 3. Brook Lopez is out there with Young, and it's Jack in at the 1. And that one, no good to start him off on the night. On defense, Brooklyn.
And for Big Al Jefferson, he's been a great player in this league, but he hasn't played on that many great teams, and he's never made an all-star team. Hard to imagine.
Now here is Jack. Johnson, a wide open look. His three-pointers off the mark. Here's Indiana. Hill kicks to George. Nice shot from the wing. George has got the opening field goal of the game for the Pacers.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
Here's Jack. Cans the 12-footer.
Wow, risky shot there size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
Well, the quick high release negated any height disadvantage he had right there.
That's good. Here's Jack. Brown outside. Lopez, a screen on Ellis. He hits Brown with the drive. Just 5 on the clock. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And Brook Lopez, guys, started the season as the starting center for the Nets last year, but it didn't end up that way.
Lopez ended up coming off the bench for the Nets for a stretch last season. There was a lot of debate, Clark, if that was the right role for him.
Kevin, clearly there were differing opinions because as soon as it happened, every GM called Brooklyn up to see if Lopez was available.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Watching Brook Lopez, he all the time contributes in every category. It's amazing the number of ways he affects the game.
Deadly with the shot. Tremendous touch back to the basket moves, facing up, makes free throws, good offensive rebounder, capable passer. He just makes things happen.
Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with head coach Lionel Hollins. And Doris, what'd you find out?
I asked him what their focal point would be defensively, and he said that Al Jefferson is at the top of their scouting report. With his smooth, low-post repertoire and mid-range shooting touch, he can put up points in a hurry. He said they'll try to steer him to his left hand as much as possible and just hope for the best. Kevin, we'll see if they can force him into a tough night.
Thank you, Doris.
And talking about Lopez, he does clean the glass on the offensive end. He was 12th in offensive rebounds last year. However, he was 44th in defensive rebounds. That's one important area he definitely has to work on.
Boy, I love the great assist that time by Jack.
Pacers have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Hill kicks to Allen from about 19 feet. Here's Jefferson, and there's the bucket. Stay with it on the offensive glass, getting it done.
I'll tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
It really has, and they've created a lot of high percentage shots in the paint here already.
Lopez.
Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
You know, getting back to Lopez, how good is it to have a guy with his offensive package also be a near top 10 shot blocker for you? That's what he was last season and several seasons before that. He's an all-star talent if he can just stay on the court and stay healthy.
Good.
How can you stop that? With a crossover that quick, that lightning quick, a defender has to be almost superhuman to stay in front of that.
Lopez with the steal. And here we go. Fast break. Jack's got it. Here's Brown. The shot is off. So the Pacers will take it the other way. Outside Jefferson. Allen right side. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Lopez, a screen on George. It's stolen by Hill. Brown against Ellis. Indiana again missing. The Nets with the lead. Brown the pass to Jack from 11 feet away. And again, no good by Brooklyn. For Indiana, they've gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. George, no good.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Johnson dishes to Jack. The kick out to Lopez. The rebound by Paul George.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
You know, no doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Hill, he's checked in for Jefferson. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. Young is subbed in for George Hill. Now here's Johnson after Jordan Hill's miss. To the wing right side. The shot by Ellington, no good.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
On its way from Young for 2, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Young's got his first 2 points of the night. The pass to Bargnani. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson.
Their interior has been inferior defensively. It has got to tighten up.
You're right on target there, Greg. Of the last 10 points they've allowed, 8 have come from in close.
Young for 3, and that one's good. Young's got 5.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now here's Ellington. Tight defense on him. Nine seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here is Miles. A 3 ball. And no good trying to get that one. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. It's the Pacers leading by a point. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. And Nets head coach Lionel Hollins known for his no-nonsense style, but he'll tell you he's still got a good sense of humor.
I told them all, you can joke with me, you can laugh at me. I'm not perfect. You'll see me hobbling out there on the court. You'll see me stumble as I'm trying to show you a defensive move. It's funny. There was a time when you wouldn't be laughing because I'd be kicking your butt, but that time is long past.
I still don't think that Coach Hollins is anyone to be trifled with, and I think the Net players would agree with me on that one.
Oh, yes, I know they've got that one figured out. And I do, too, as a matter of fact. The last thing anybody on the team better be doing is laughing at Lionel Hollins. Just ask Darren Williams.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. And when you consider how the Pacers are doing, guys, what do you think?
It's been about the effort. Love the hustle they've shown here in the first.
Yeah, it's due to their hustle, as you said, Greg, and it's showing up on the scoreboard, too.
On the court right now, second quarter starting for the Nets. They got Johnson, Bogdanovich out there with Wayne Ellington. Then it's Bargnani, and it's Robinson in at the power forward. Now here's Stuckey. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game, and the basket by Hill.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Here's Johnson after Jordan Hill's bucket. Picked by Bargnani, and it's Johnson penetrating. From 13, lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Bargnani's got his second basket of the night.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal, but that might be a mismatch they're willing to live with.
And that one's good. And the Pacers lead by 6.
Defender there in the neighborhood, but not quite close enough. Good shot.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted, and he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, you know, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly, but last season they were put up for sale, surprisingly to some, Clark, midway through the year.
Yeah, that was odd timing given the new arena and rebranding. I mean, you would think after all that effort to rebuild the team, you would see it through.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. I was able to hear the advice Lionel Hollins gave to his team during that last break. He told his guys, when we've got the ball, let's take it right into the teeth of the defense. Attacking the basket is going to be their MO. He said also that their offense needs to be a patient one. He told them, don't rush things. Use as much of that shot clock as you need to. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
All right, Doris.
And for the Nets being put up for sale, a big part of it was they were a team that was supposed to compete for titles. And since the move to Brooklyn, they have had trouble going deep in the playoffs.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
George will not go. This is off the front iron. Brooklyn trailing.
And you know, with Brooklyn, I don't think anybody wants to take over a team in a rebuild mode. I mean, that's what the Nets seem to be looking at for the next few seasons. They had their shot, went all in with some of their decisions, unfortunately came up short.
Now here's Lopez. He's got 8, just 3 to shoot. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Bynum kicks to Jefferson. Young in the corner. 3-pointer. And the basket for the 4th time from the field. He's a healthy 4 for 6.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists. Just no resistance on the inside. That's their 5th consecutive make in the paint.
And, Greg, those looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
Nets trail by 3. Outside Jack. Over in the corner, Brown. Lopez outside. Shoots off the step back. kept alive.
Well, he actually did a nice job there reading how that shot was going to come off the rim perfectly. I mean, that can make up for any height disadvantage.
And it's George missing.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Now here's Lopez. They double him with George. Young passes to Brown. Nets passing it around.
2 minutes.
Young against Jefferson. That's in, and the Pacer lead is cut to just 1 point on the basket from Thaddeus Young. Indiana's gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first.
You know, last season, Thaddeus Young was moved from Minnesota to Brooklyn, guys. A good move for everybody involved as he helped with the playoff push.
Right. Nets trail by 3. Outside Jack. And count it from 19 feet away.
What do you do with that guy? With his handles, he abuses defenders.
Left side, George. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
Yeah, tit for tat on the glass. Just one more aspect of what's been a very closely contested ball game here.
Now, here is Young. 10 points for him. And it's sent back by Lopez. The Nets have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Young outside. Kicks to Lopez. The turnaround. The putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Bargnani's got 8 points in the quarter.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
Jefferson.
What are you in? Go.
It's his first trip to the line.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
And guys, that was an element of his game that he could not get turned around. I mean, he was really in a funk, and it lasted all season.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Lavoy Allen's checked in for Bynum. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And George Hills subbed in for Young. That one is no good.
They should be in front right now, but he'll be relieved not to have come up totally empty there.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ellington kicks to Bogdanovich. Good on the three-point shot. And the Nets lead by 3. Outside Hill. Dishes it to Miles. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Nets lead by 3. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, we have Brooke Lopez with us. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Oh, it's so exciting. You know, it's really thrilling to come out with such a great group of guys every night, you know, and play basketball. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Brooke, thank you very much. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be taking a look back at the first half of basketball. Brooklyn found themselves in a close game in the first. Some good action during the period, as it was just a one-point game at the end of one. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And from what we saw so far from the Nets, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
Well, they forced their way to some easy buckets, aggressively going to the rack, imposing their will. I mean, taking it inside establishes an attitude and toughness that you can't get any other way.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Indiana?
Their shooting rhythm was off, under 40%. Some of that was shot selection. Some of it was the defense stepping up. My guess is we'll see some significant changes as things get going in the second half. Increasing off-the-ball activity, making the extra pass, and trying to get better looks.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Bargnani.
Yeah, he's played just a smart game overall offensively, looking for and finding the gaps in the defense, and also terrific shot selection.
Greg, that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being efficient as an offensive player. Fully on display there with him.
The Indiana Pacers had a solid season last year, given they were without their star for most of it. They played well at home.
Yeah, even without Paul George, they were in contention. How about 23-18 at home, which is really a solid mark when you consider they didn't have their two best players from a season ago.
We've got Al Jefferson, LaVoy Allen out there with Paul George. Then there's Ellis, and it's Hill in at the point. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Here's Johnson after the made shot from Monte Ellis. The rebound by Monte Ellis.
You know, for the Pacers in their 23-18 home record, that was better than several teams that made the playoffs in the East. They were very tough at home at the defensive end of the floor.
Now here is Jack. George Hill missing his last shot. That's good from Johnson on the assist from Jack. Jack's got 4 assists in the game.
Back-to-back threes for him. The defense is slacking off a little.
You've got to respect that three, or you'll give up points in a hurry.
Now here's Allen. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Allen with the screen for Ellis. Back to Allen. Shot clock at 5. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
And the Pacers were 3rd in the league in field goal percentage against at home. Something about this crowd really drives the Pacers on the defensive end, even in a down year.
Jordan Hill, he's checked in for Al Jefferson. Not much to complain about for Brooklyn fans with the Nets' road play last year. Looked pretty much the same as they did at home.
And Kevin, that can cut both ways. I mean, the Nets were 19-22 on the road, exactly the same record they had at Barclays.
And for the Nets on the road, they did have some differences. As a team, they shot better on the road than at home by a significant margin.
Brown dishes to Jack. Feeds to Lopez. Screen by Young. Thaddeus Young on the wing. Again, the Nets for 2.
You know, overall, the Nets had the same road record as they did at home. I mean, but late last year, they were the only team with more road wins than home wins. That was the case until their final game of the season, actually.
The drive by Ellis. And once again, off the mark by Indiana. Brooklyn leading by 3. Lopez outside. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed him.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
The first free throw is good.
And, you know, as you said, the Pacers did have problems with injuries. The team roster missed 219 games due to injury. So compare that to the 69 games missed by the Pacers in 2014. Big difference.
The Pacers making a change here. Young's checked in. That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
And really, guys, the most telling part of the Pacers' injury troubles was this. Had to use 15 different starting lineups over the course of the season. Just hard to stay consistent and competitive when you are always replacing an injured player in the lineup. Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Bargnani is checked in for the Nets. Young's shot is off. Johnson against George. And Jack kicks to Young. Young, a screen on George. Johnson. It's rebounded by Indiana.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
Now, here is George after the miss from Joe Johnson. And once again, off the mark by Indiana. Young against Jack. Bargnani is screen on Young. And Jack, here we go. The Pacers pull it in. Hill's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Young with the ball. Now Jack defending. Young outside. Pass to Ellis. Here's Hill. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. Hill's got his second basket of the night.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
Johnson kicks to Young. Bargnani trying to free himself up. And Young with the basket on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got 5 assists tonight. Thaddeus Young provides a lot of things, Clark. Solid on both ends of the floor. You can plug him into almost any lineup and make it work.
Yeah, he's an ideal basketball player because of his versatility. I think that's one of his greatest strengths. Not only can he play the 3 or 4, he can go inside and outside, too.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. Young was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach emphasized getting him as many touches as possible, saying he is going to be one of the guys to carry us the rest of the way. There's still plenty of basketball left to play, and as we watch how these adjustments play out, Kev, it'll be interesting.
Thanks again, Doris. 6 to shoot. That one a little long.
And guys, when you talk about Thaddeus Young, last year was another solid season for him. Excellent job finishing around the rim as usual. Solid rebounding numbers, but still trying to improve his consistency from the 3. He started the season strong in that department and kind of fell off a bit at the end.
Young. Here's Hill, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
And what a gutty play. I mean, muscles his way to the rebound and then just pounds it home for the putback.
Well said, G.A. The battle on the boards, Clark, could go a long way toward deciding this game.
You know, and if that play is any indication, that's a battle they're willing to put every ounce of their energy into winning. Man, Thaddeus Young, he's really entering the prime of his career right now at age 27. Hard to believe he's now in his 9th season. Only spent 1 year in college. Still plenty of room to grow.
Now here's Stuckey. For the lead. Good. Stuckey's got 5. 43 seconds left to play in the 3rd. Stuckey against Johnson. And they get it. It's rebounded by Indiana.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
And he gets it to go. And it's 8 points for Hill.
And you look at the story defensively in this game. I mean, they've gone backwards in the second half. A little too casual for me. It's costing them. They're paying for it.
Now, here's Ellington. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Indiana out in front as they end the 3rd quarter on a 14-6 run. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The 4th quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Now Jack and Brooklyn looking who they've got. Brown at the 2 with Johnson at the 3. Young is out there with Brook Lopez. And it's Jack in at the point. And he gets it to go. And it's 8 points here for Thaddeus Young. Indiana leading. Allen with the screen for Hill. Screen by Jefferson. Hill kicks to Jefferson. Good D by Lopez.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Lopez a screen. Jack against Jefferson. And Jack kicks to Lopez. And it's good. Fought through contact. It's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Loose D here. Critical stretch. I mean, you better off sending him to the free throw lines than to have him get that good a look.
George is checked in for the Pacers. That's good from Brook Lopez.
And last season, the Nets made sure nobody went off against them. They would lose games, but they did a great job of limiting an opposing star from taking over.
Now, here is Hill. George passes to Jefferson. Lopez with the steal. And Jack kicks to Brown. Look at that.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open. How about that move? Is this guy special or what? Just love watching him operate inside.
Hill dishes to George. Shot to stop the run. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way.
And they'll be counting on even more points from him. That's essential if they're going to pull this game out.
Jack with it. Shot is off. Hill with some nice D.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
Young with the steal. Johnson, the pass to Jack. From the baseline. And that one's good. Jack's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He told them it's time to fight and take the lead. Let's put ourselves in position to bring it home. Guys, we'll see if they've got what it takes to get it done.
Pacers trail by 5. For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for Brooklyn.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
Yeah, and something else they've done all through this one is knock down the mid-range jump shot whenever they've had the chance.
Now here's Johnson. Lopez, a screen on George. Johnson goes in. 9 feet out. And Young with the basket on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got 6 assists here tonight.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Johnson against George. Ellis outside. Shot clock at 6. The baseline J. And it's George missing.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
And Jack, here we go. Kicks it out to Johnson. The three-pointer, no good. Pacers trail by 4. On up the court. Here's Hill. Ejected by Young. Jefferson against Jack. There's the double team with Allen. From deep, Johnson. Good, and Jack gets the assist. And now a 7-point Brooklyn lead.
And he's showing signs now of life after going scoreless through the half.
Nice game. Great performance by Brook Lopez.
He's been attacking the rim with reckless abandon. They're searching for answers. Some way they got to figure out how to contain him.
And Indiana making a change here. Stuckey's checked in. And a change for the Nets. Ellington's checked in. .153 left in the game. Outside, George. The dish to Hill. Jefferson, a screen on Jack. Hill against Jack. Just 4 to shoot. Count that one, and the Nets' lead has been cut to just 5 on the basket from Hill.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
Now here is Jack. 8 feet away. Allen with the rebound. We've got 1:13 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Hill with now Jack defending. In transition, here come the Nets. Jack leading the charge. For Indiana, they've gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. George, no good. And the Nets with possession. They're on a 16-7 run. And Jack kicks to Lopez. And a great assist by Jack as that one goes in. Lopez has got the lead up to 7 now for the Nets. And George kicks to Stuckey. And it's good. Walk through contact. It's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, terrific play right there. Great strength to finish through the contact.
That's exactly how it should be done. Get the bump, concentrate on the shot, and you'll get the bucket too. Talk about great numbers. For Stuckey, he has 8 points, and there's a nice number in his assist column as well.
It really has been, Clark. He's created a lot of open looks for his teammates. Very unselfish play from him today.
And so they foul intentionally. Now here is Jack. We've got 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Lopez. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead kind of attack that they have.
Pass to George. Allen outside. Stuckey dishes to Hill. And the Pacers can't get it to go. And he commits the intentional foul.
That's his second personal foul. Shooting for Indiana, Thaddeus Young at the line for 2.
It's the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
All right, let's go.
And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. And so it's Brooklyn with the win. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Joe, congratulations on this win. This was a game where we saw plenty of great sequences, some nice runs put together. What changes for the team out on the floor when you guys start rolling like we witnessed here tonight?
We just picked up our energy and effort. We was able to get some stops, got out in transition, started making a few shots, and it just kind of got contagious.
Well, this was fun for us to watch, Joe. Thanks for the time. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. Great interview once again. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Clark, Greg, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
The 2K